Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
All right, everybody, I've got a special treat for you today. I've got a tremendous friend and a great client. We're going to have Lindsay Jarvis on. We're going to talk about Lindsay's land development deals that he does over the Smile States here, the Carolinas, the Texas, and in between. We're going to have his partner and CEO, Maurice Johnson, on. And before we get started, I wanted to thank our friends at Warren Henry. This is our, 740 some odd episode. We've been on for 15 years. Warren Henry's been our sponsor for 12. I want to thank Larry, Warren, Eric, Ismet, the whole team over at Warren Henry Automotive. And don't forget, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to go to Warren Henry Automotive. And now, on to our show. We've got Lindsay Jarvis on. Lindsay is the founder and of BRD Land and Investments. And we've got his partner, Maurice Johnson, who is the man. Maurice is a legend in the home building business. Mo, welcome to the show. He's the CEO of BRD Land. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Lindsay, tell us a little bit about BRD and what problem you guys solve.
We thank you for the opportunity to speak, Jim. We've BRD Land and Investment. We specialize in the creation of, we call them paper lots, like in the land development space. And it's also sometimes called shovel ready. So we will take a neighborhood, we'll engage engineers, surveyors, and all the like, and basically create the design of a neighborhood suitable for one of your national builders, DR Horton, NVR-Ryan Homes, to buy that. So we're experienced in it. We've formed ourselves 2018, and we've sold probably, we must be coming right up on about $100 million worth of these shovel-ready neighborhoods at the moment. So that's a little bit about BRDL.
It's a really big issue. I know these home builders need places to build. You're buying these basically in the path of growth. Mo, tell me a little bit about what you look for in a transaction. You're the deal guy on the ground. What makes a deal special for you?
Oh, awesome. Definitely. Thank you. Again, thank you for having us, Jim. What makes a deal special for me? Number one, it's location. That'll never change, never stop. And the beauty of, as you mentioned, the smile markets, Florida, Carolinas, Georgia, Texas, and the like, those are all just generally states people want to be in. I think recent trends, if you look at some of the U-Haul statistics in terms of where people are going, people want to move down here, and it was magnified during the pandemic. So we look for that. We look for services. We look for lifestyle services. We look for the ability to get entitlements. That's really important. It's one of the reasons why the supply-demand equation is just so significantly weighted the wrong way. And then then the next thing we do is we try to figure out, we need to know what our builders want, our customers want, and we try to go and deliver projects that really align with their strategy and long-term goals.
So what are the economics underpinning this opportunity?
The economics are the supply and demand that I mentioned before. This country is in a significant supply shortfall when it comes to rooftop housing. And that is all predicated on a lot of the things that have happened over the course of the last, call it 2 decades, with respect to the big Great Recession, the downturn. You fast forward, the country is starting to kind of crawl its way out, and then you have the pandemic, which changed things significantly. And then you add the interest rate increases that have been happening over the last year or so, and it continues to kind of delay the fulfilling of some of that demand with the supply perspective. So that's exactly what's going on. So
in order to take advantage of this, I'd want to work with somebody who's got a tremendous track record. Lindsay, tell me a little bit about your track record. And I know Mo has an incredible track record that he brings to the table too.
Yeah, Jim, we've over the last 3 or 4 years, we're coming right up on $100 million worth of shovel-ready lot sales to your national builders. Our clients and buyers in our market at the moment include DR Horton, NVR-Ryan Homes, H&H. They were formerly and now Dream Finders, Mattamy Home Builders, Meritage, American Homes for Rent, Stanley Martin. So we're very, very well known amongst your national and regional builders, and I'd say well respected. And so if we contact your local builders and say we've got a development ready, they take that offer very, very seriously. So we've got a good track record. We think that's valuable for any investor to see. So
now, Lindsay, your pipeline, you get deals, people call you. How do you select the deals you're working on, and how many paper lots do you have in your pipeline right now?
Well, Mo and I were actually chatting about that before, but I think it's not less than 30,000 lots at the moment. Mo, you can correct me if I'm wrong. And that gives us a forward revenue pipeline, like dollars. If we use fair market value for what's under contract at the moment, we're probably 800 million, 900 million of forward land positions. Would that be fair, Mo? Do you think?
Very fair.
Yeah.
So the opportunity today is for people to join you on the platform and co-invest with you and take advantage of this opportunity for you to develop these properties with these investors and then sell them to people like
DR Horton. Your national builders. So yeah, and I think we should expand a little bit on that, Jim, and say that the investment is through the Rockstar Capital Group, which is one of our most trusted affiliates, and they're extremely important part of the operating capital that we use for the pursuit costs of getting these land positions entitled and fully shovel ready. So that's the platform, and the way to enter the market with us is via that. So
your funding model is basically what?
Well, we've got. I mean, Mo, do you want to answer that one for us?
I'm sorry, I lost it.
What's the funding model that you use, Mo, to acquire these? You raise money from a variety of different sources, from institutions to individuals, and then you deploy them into these contracts where you already have buyers. Seems to me like you're mitigating a lot of the risk here.
That's right. Yes, we definitely do. And sorry, I had some connection issues or something. So
it's okay. I'm disconnected with everybody all the time. It's just my thing.
It's just what happens every now and then. We probably got too many. Probably got too much streaming, some YouTube watching, and there are other parts of my house you can see.
Gremlins.
But yeah, so exactly. I mean, what we're offering from an investment perspective, number one, our team, and we'll talk about it a little bit, is a bunch of experienced land and home building professionals. We know how to identify good dirt and good projects. So number one, we're not taking on and looking at projects that we don't feel will sell to several different buyers, not just one. Number two, the way we structure our contracts, we do it where we're trying to keep our sellers in the game along the way, so there's not a lot of sunk costs when it comes to the projects. And so number three, if we did get to a position where we needed to close on the property, we'd have a builder in tow to mitigate some of those risks as well, on top of all of the locational things that I spoke to as well. That's why it makes so much sense from an investor perspective, how compelling it is. We're not asking you to invest in land. We're asking you to invest in the deals that we have that are pre-sold, as we talked about before, or projects that we know align with several different builders, which equates to multiple exit strategies.
So what role does Rockstar play in your structuring, Lindsay?
Rockstar is the platform that allows investors to get access to our operating capital needs. So the land entitlement and permitting business, I'll say it's not very cheap. So to give you an example, if we've got 20,000 lots, it costs at least $2,000 a lot to get it entitled and shovel ready. So that's $40 million in operating capital as a minimum, and we're conservatively sitting at 30,000 lots at the moment. So I'll let you do the math on that. So Rockstar Capital is one of the, one of the platforms where investors, small and large, institutional, can get access to share the upside that we're seeing in this industry, and we're happy for that opportunity to be available to everybody. So now,
Lindsay, tell me a little bit about Tell me a little bit about your expansion plans. Right now, we know there's a lot of need for homes. We know that there's a disconnect. We know that most people can't buy a home from somebody that already lives in them. So they're looking to buy new from home builders usually. So tell me a little bit about your plan 1, 3, 5 years out.
Well, that's something. I mean, we're very, very pleased to have Mo on board with us now as our CEO to help us to realise this vision. But as I say, we're sitting at around about 30,000 lots at the moment. Our goal was to the end of 23, which is in a few weeks' time, is to be somewhere near 50,000. We'll see if we get there. By the end of 24, we want to be at 100,000 lots that we own or control. Preferably control, not own. And our goal is in 5 years to see if we can be the #1 supplier of paper lots in the entire southeast of the United States. Probably a wider chunk of market than that, or bigger footprint. But we've set a goal to be, to try and crack $1 billion worth of revenues in one financial year by the year end of, what would they be, 2028. So.
Well, I just wrote down a family that I know that owns tens of thousands of lots in the I-4 belt, if you will. So I got a feeling Mo is going to be talking to my friend in the next few days. Now, let's talk about what the most important thing is in executing the business that you just described. That's the people. Can you tell me a little bit about your team, Lindsay? And you can be nice to Mo. He's here with us now.
Well, I mean, as I've always said, you are investing in a business. Of course, you can write down what is our core operation, what do we do, but the reality is you're actually investing in people. So I've been very, very privileged, if you like, and fortunate to have met some of the smartest people I've ever come across in my life to help us form and develop this business, including Mo. They joined us recently. He's got a spectacular resume, and the talent that sits behind Mo. And we've got Tim Samuels, our other partner, is obviously Mo's a partner. Tim's just 20-year veteran or more in this industry. I think he's probably.
How about my friend Jack? Shout out to Jack.
That's right.
Yeah. We've got our development team. I mean, Tim Samuels, our other partner, founding partner, is
he's tremendous. I love doing business with Tim.
He had 20 years with NVR-Ryan Homes in charge of their acquisition, so that's an extremely high level of experience and connections in the market. And then the underpinning this whole operation, which Mo heads up for us, are all of our IDCs. We call them our independent development consultants, and they're a mix of division presidents, engineers, and some of the most talented people that I've ever seen. And all they do is they live and breathe taking land through entitlements, managing the engineers and the surveys, and taking that project right to the finish line, getting it shovel ready. If you don't have those guys, and they're not under someone like Mo's watchful eye and how you manage this whole process, then we don't get to the finish line. So there's a reason why our operation's as big as it is, and there's a reason why it can go where we say it can go over the next 2, 3, or 5 years. It's all the people. So
it sounds to me, you buy what you call paper lots. Florida is, I'm using Florida as just an example. I'm translating into my own personal knowledge. Florida's full of agricultural land that's perhaps not as productive. Georgia, we saw what happened to the peaches. Florida, we saw what happened to the oranges. Those plants grow on high, dry land. So I got to figure the land they grow on is perfect for building homes. Mo, how do you go find these off-market deals that I got to believe really drive your profits?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They do. The off-market deals is really our specialty. Number one, it starts with relationships. You got to have relationships. In order to have relationships, you got to have good people, right? You got to have people that people know, that people want to pick the phone up and call. So we're really, really making a point to be top of mind to not just to brokers, to be top of mind for engineers, land use attorneys, so on and so forth, and get out there. And you got to have a reputation, right? You got to have a reputation for executing and performing on the deals. And so, we definitely have that, and we're proud of that fact. Then I think the last thing is you got to know where the puck is going. You got to spend a lot of time looking forward in opinion, in assessing the market, assessing what the builders think, assessing what just underlying home buyers need and want, and looking at things with the end in mind. And so that's really what we try to do. in everything we do in terms of going out and trying to source and procure these deals that are diamonds in the rough.
I love the Wayne Gretzky analogy. Our friends from Canada, all those new buyers coming down from Canada, are going to love that. I'm going to ask if you guys can stick with me just a minute. I want to have a couple more questions, but I got to pay a couple bills. I got to give a tip of the hat to Warren Henry. Can you guys stick with me for just a couple minutes?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's tremendous. We'll be right back with more Freed on Business after Mr. Mendoza takes us through on a trip through Miami. Mr. Mendoza, it's yours. I love living in South Florida, and South Florida is built on brands and families. We've got some great families here in town that have built the marketplace up and have also provided incredible engines for jobs. And one of those families is the Zinn family, specifically Warren Zinn and his son Larry Zinn and their partner Eric Day. I've known them for many years now, and they've treated me with kindness and respect. When we were looking for Vivian's kidney, they're members of the National Kidney Foundation. They really stepped up and helped me. I can never thank them enough. But I try every week. So I'm projecting their energy because I think that that's really important. Like Zach Thomas said, it's all about love and kindness. And that's what I get whenever I go to Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, Jaguar, Lincoln up at 151st and Biscayne. Gainesville, they've got that great Audi store there. South Dade, they've got an award-winning Land Rover, Range Rover store. And in the Keys, they just bought the Chevy dealer. They've got everything down in the Key West store. All these cars are great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry Advantage, which is a group of services that the Warren Henry team has put together to make your ownership experience very pleasant and positive. Everything from the Warren Henry I said the Warren Henry Advantage. So everything from the fact that they polish up my rims and keep my car looking nice, to the fact that they replace the keys when I lose them, to they guarantee you're getting a great value on your trade-in, the best price on your leased car or new car. They'll give you 3 days to turn your car back if you don't like it. Nobody really does that because they're such tremendous cars. So join my beautiful wife, Vivian, my rock, my mom, my friends, my clients. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best service, always the best price. You know the last line, always Warren Henry. Hi, I'm Jim Freed. I'm founder of Sandstone Realty Advisors. And just like I take my car to its safe place up at Warren Henry, Sandstone Realty Advisors is a safe place for you. Our team of experts has decades of experience in the real estate business, and we find creative solutions to help you move your transaction forward, from the last legacy apartment stretch construction loan to the blockchain syndication platform of the future. We've got it all. Families count on us to execute their transactions quietly and privately with the help of our lifetime of relationships. So reach out to me, DM me, text me. My personal brand is that I self-actualize by helping other people achieve their dreams and goals. I do that by helping them solve problems and bringing them peace of mind. So let me do that for you. And remember, whenever you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're back. I want to, again, thank my good client, Lindsay Jarvis. He's a visionary. Lindsay's the founder of BRD Land and Investments. He's making it happen for the American dream across the Smile States. And he brought on, I got to just say it this way, Lindsay, I'm sorry, housing legend, Maurice Johnson. He's the CEO of BRD Land and Investments. Gentlemen, welcome back to the show. We've been talking about your track record. It's long. Your pipeline, it's deep. Your financial capacity, which is significant. The fact that you're offering a limited opportunity to some potentially some new investors. But let's talk about this. We're talking about development. There's chances that things could go sideways. What are some of the things that might go wrong? I'm going to give this one to Lindsay.
You can always have another black swan event, Jim. You can't go in. You've got to go into these things with your eyes open. But I always say this: like a black swan event would be COVID. Could there be another variant that shuts us all down? Sure, but I tend to say that the investment capital is relatively safe as long as this prevails. As long as the United States still needs new rooftops, it all begins with land. All right, so we're in this space. We are in the land development space. We don't put roads in. We don't put pipe in the ground, but we are in the land development space. We supply those paper lots, shovel-ready lots to national builders. So as long as the United States continues to need new rooftops, we're in great shape. All right. You could have a situation where a municipality is a bit anti-growth for a while. Maybe they can't keep up with the infrastructure, so there's a moratorium. But all you have to do is be patient, because as long as it comes back to what I said is that as long as you need a rooftop, eventually when they come back and start buying the land again, it's worth more than when they paused. So we just say be patient. Can I say that something wouldn't happen like another COVID? No, I can't say that. So be realistic and be patient. So
I really think that what we have to realize is that America household formation is changing. It's being delayed, but it's not stopping. I mean, look, Mo behind him has a beautiful picture of his family. We're all about our families, and that's what this really is about, helping the American family, finding a safe place, a good place to grow, expand, build community, and live the American dream. This is about the American dream, and you're doing it with your partner. I got to just give him credit where credit is due, Rockstar. Tell me a little bit about Rockstar, Lindsay.
Well, Brandon, as we sometimes call him, aka the Rockstar. I've known Brandon for over 10 years now. He was probably one of the first. He was one of the first people I met in the United States when I came there for to look at developments and opportunities. And he's there's no one better in terms of building relationships with investors and helping answer all those questions. And he's our go-to when people are interested in investing and being behind what we want to be part of or what we're creating. We couldn't endorse him more strongly to all of you is to talk to Brandon and be part of what we're doing by being part of what he's doing. So it's a win-win. You're in good hands. So
okay. And I kind of want to wrap up with this. To me, it's kind of risk mitigation. And I want to ask Mo, I got another one for you, Lindsay. Don't worry, we're going to finish with you too. But I want to ask Mo this. Mo, how do you roll out your underwriting in a way that keeps as much safety in the transaction as possible? How do you look for red flags, and what are a couple you look for?
Oh, definitely. A really good question. The first thing we look at, obviously, we look at the property. We find out adjacent services, utilities, right? We look at access points. We look at schools. We also look to see other supply within the submarket. We want to see what's there. We want to see what type of land uses we could get approved in that respective municipality. Is there a development, a UDO, which is a Uniform Development Ordinance and the like? We look at all those things and figure out kind of what could go wrong. And we also, obviously, we're looking at a lot of what could go right, but we want to try to identify those pitfalls early on and try to, I mentioned earlier, pull the business forward and identify those things. We talk to. We match ahead of time. We're always talking to our customers on what they need, what they build well, what they like, what areas they think makes the most sense in terms of their plan. And so we're looking at each parcel with our customers as mine as well. And that also helps to kind of eradicate and pull out some of those potential issues early on.
So you're customer centric, which your customer is the home builder.
Mm-hmm.
You work with a proven fundraiser with Rockstar, and the transactions you invest in are predominantly pre-sold. Is that a pretty good way to summarize it, Lindsay?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, I mean, by the time I think I'd like to qualify that a little bit. Before we start spending any big money on any of some of these projects, because it can run out to $1 million or more in soft costs to get something fully shovel ready. What Mo's saying is that he's got a checklist, so we minimize the expenditure, but with 50 or 100,000, we generally have got a lot of the risk items off the table. So. And that's, we're not afraid to drop a project after 60 days if we find it's got some hair on it.
So you've got a back door on these contracts. If you find something unexpected, you can just, granted it's a couple $100,000, but you don't have to take the full boat risk.
No, it's an option. They're sophisticated purchase options, basically. So, that's what they are. So they'll keep the seller in the deal if possible, the farmer who's selling his raw land, and until we've got that shovel-ready status, and then the national builders they're so desperate for land that there's no shortage of buyers. So, that's how we mitigate the risk for ourselves and for all of our investors. So,
Well, I want to thank you both for being on the show. Mo, is there one last thing that you'd like to point out?
I think ultimately, when you think of any business venture, and you think of any opportunity to partner with a business, you start with the strategy, and is it a sound strategy based on a simple sentence, a simple pitch? And ultimately, I think we all agree that there is a significant shortfall of supply within the United States of America. So the supply is significantly low. The demand, which is household formation, is significantly high. That's number one. Number two is the people. We've got a team full of very seasoned home building and land professionals across the country, and we've got a very seasoned capital group that has fueled this venture for the last several years, and we've got plenty of money to continue to keep going. So that's the people side. And then you look at the product. Again, it goes back to the people. We're seasoned. We know what home builders want. We stay close to our customers, not just national. We also have regional home builders that are actively looking to grow as well. That's why there's a top 100 builder list versus the top 12, which is the nationals. And we serve them all. And so we make sure that our product is one that works for our customers to where they're willing to not just pay us below market value or market value. We'll get a little more because they know when they pick it up, they can go stick a shovel in the dirt and accomplish their needs to deliver their shareholders value.
So it sounds to me like you're working with Rockstar. You're mitigating your risk by working with typically pre-sold dirt. The problem you're solving is the problem of not enough lots to be built so that you can help people live the American dream. How did I do, Mr. Jarvis?
You can take my job anytime you like, Jim.
I want to thank you both for joining me today. I want to thank our friends at Warren Henry for being sponsors. I want to thank Larry, Eric, Ismet, Maytal, Gio, Jack, the whole team over at Warren Henry for making my whole family feel tremendous. I want to thank them for sponsoring our show for the last 12 years. I want to thank, since the beginning, the University of Florida Center for Real Estate Studies has been a sponsor. As everybody knows, we drop a brand new version of the podcast every Wednesday at noon. I want to thank Mo and Lindsay for being on with me today and being on the podcast. Of course, if you want more information on what they're doing, reach out to me, DM me. We'll be on again next week at noon. Why? Because I absolutely love doing this, if you couldn't tell already. Remember, this is Jim Freed. I want to remind everybody that the person that wants to do something finds a way. The other finds an excuse. I got two doers here on the show with me today. So everybody go out there and make it happen. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Mr. Mendoza, the rest of the show is yours.